The anticipation setup allows you to find low risk entry opportunities in a stock with an established momentum. So basically, it's a continuation setup in the sense the stock has already established a momentum or a trend, and then you're looking for a point within which the stock has consolidated, had a minor pullback, and is now ready to break out. So, in order to find that, if you see the video which I recorded yesterday, or not yesterday but last week, goes into details of finding it. So for in order to find that, basically I'm looking at universe of stock with price about $3 and price percent change between -1 and 1% and trend intensity about 1.04. So basically you're looking for a stock with a momentum characteristic. This basically finds stocks with momentum, and liquidity is true, so that you are looking at stocks with a minimum liquidity. So once you apply that, you are getting 664 stocks. So and then you go through each one of them to look at which stock has the best uh, characteristic which will make it break out soon. And in order to do that, I sort it by TI65 first. So those are the steps. Now I already done this in order to save time, and these are the stocks which are in my watch list today in terms of what I'm watching for a possible breakout. So if you see, these are all stocks which are setting up, or they have a continuation. Like say this is a stock which has got this first leg going sideways, very orderly manner. If it breaks out, it can make a 20 to 30% move. Similarly, each of these stock, like say here, like again stock is setting up for a possible breakout to the upside. DVMT, CICN, BMW, uh, Autolive, CRZO, Boeing, FireEye, Pilgrim's Pride, Ralph Lauren, SPN, NCMI, BFB, Yum China. Some of them can be like in a little bit wider, but like then CE, then CP. This is very nicely setting up. See here, this is like a stock has gone up for 2 or 3 weeks and then going sideways, and now can break out to the upside. So one can enter with a very close stop. This actually is a stock which is like again ready to break out. In fact, and this itself would have been a buy signal to buy in anticipation that it is going to break out. So those are the stocks which I have in my list. So once I have the list, what I do is I prioritize these in terms of like which is my number one idea, which is my number two idea, number three idea, some sort of a listing of like top 3 or 4 or 5 ideas. And then the most important step after this is just not to make this list and sit there and wait for it to break out, because if you do that, then it's a waste of time, because all the effort which you spent is completely wasted. You want to enter as soon as possible. In order to do that, what I do is I take this list and put it into my trading platform. So this list is already been put into my trading platform with, as of now, market orders ready. So if you see, and also when I'm entering this list, I entered it in the uh, rank, like in terms of like FireEye is number one idea as far as I'm concerned, or BA is number two, or Extreme Network, or SDP, or Yum China's, or CP, or Amgen. These are the 4 or 5 which I am closely watching, and then you have rest of the stock. So any stock which is on the list will go as long as there are 44 stocks can fit on this page. I think 44 stocks fit in. So, but not most of the time I have around 20-25, but all of them will go in on this particular thing, and with orders ready, at least a market order ready. So that way, if you see that it is breaking out, you're not really like fumbling to find out how much to buy, where, and to create an order. Like everything is in place in terms of making this. Now on some of these stocks, like if I feel that look and I want to like really enter, say like let's look at say a stock like say uh, say I feel like this stock is ready to break out, supposing I'm just giving an example, and I feel that look at a 17.25 is a good entry point for this stock. So what I would do here is I would already create an entry buy stop at 17.25, and the moment the stock trades above 17.25, that order would get automatically executed. So the order would be put in place ahead of the time at that particular buy point. So Like say, or another example might be, say, if I feel that look at this particular stock is ready to break out, or the moment it goes to around 17.20 or 17.25, I want to be in that stock. So I would create an order buy stop at 17.25, or for this particular stock I might create an order at, like say, around 13.25 and enter. So that way you are entering into stocks ahead of time, or like with a stop order, and you can put in those stop orders, and some of them get executed, some of them don't get executed. If the stock doesn't trade above that particular price, then your stop buy stop doesn't get executed. Sometimes, like if I want to, like, and I say I'm very bullish on a stock, I say, let's say for example, not necessarily true, but like say fire, I am say very bullish on, and I want to, like, and I build a position in it. So I think, like, if it breaks out to say 17, that's a good entry point to get start building position. So I would put like in a buy order at 17. I'll create another buy order at 17.10 or 17.20. So if it really breaks out, I want to not only have 1,000 shares, I want to have 2,000 shares. I might create another order saying, okay, if it like, and it really goes to 17.25, I want to be really like buying 5,000 shares. Then I will have another set of orders at 17.25 ready. And as the stock goes to that particular price, or when it goes to that particular price, then you can put that thing. Now also, like, based on pre-market things, like say something gaps down from this list, and then you can just remove that stock. That way you have a curled list of high priority opportunities. And then most of these stocks, if they're going to break out, they break out like fairly rapidly in the first half 10 or 20 minutes, and that's when the planning for this kind of a things come into place, because you just have to click one order button then once everything is in place, so that you don't waste time going through to find what do I do next kind of a thing. Okay, I would have also on a pad, I already have stops worked out for all these orders. Like I know where I'm going to put an order. So stop, if I enter, so once I enter, I'll also put in the stops as soon as the entry has been done. So that's the way you can use the anticipation list to find low risk opportunities, and the whole objective is to have a stop as close to your entry as possible. Because if you wait for a breakout, and the breakout is like say $4 or 4% or 5% or 6%, your stop will be 6%. But here, because I'm looking for ideally on an anticipation kind of setup, I want to get a stop of less than 3%, ideally less than 2%, because that's the whole point of doing anticipation. So if you get a stop at less than 2%, if stock makes even 4 or 5% move, it's still 1:2 kind of a trade, and you have a very nice entry, and then it becomes instantly profitable if the stock takes off. So this is how you can like trade the anticipation method, find and trade the anticipation setups, and exploit these opportunities which are really in your pocket, in the sense you're coming in with all your work done and orders ready. And if something sets up, and if it like, and you get in, sometimes you get in with the 25 cents like, and it breaks out 25 cents and you get in, and the rest of the day it keeps going up, it goes $1, $1.50, so on 1,000 shares. Sometimes by 10:30 or 11 itself, you're like, and 1,000 shares will be worth $2,000 or $3,000, or many also in just one position. So it requires a lot of work in terms of doing all your homework, finding out, like I also know, I've checked on most of these whether there's an earnings coming, any news coming, and throughout the day, in the morning now till the market opens, I would be looking at these stocks to see if there is any news, and if something like is based on news breaking out in the pre-market, I would already be in those position. I would try building position. I would start entering. The whole idea of after doing the anticipation work is to try and get in as early as possible, and definitely get in if they are breaking out, and not wait for a confirmation. So I hope this helps you, and also look at the video which I did last week showing in detail how to find anticipation setups.